Hi guys, welcome back to my channel and to another video. Today I'm going to be testing out another new drugstore, new to me, drugstore foundation for you guys. This is part of the series where I'm testing out loads of different drugstore foundations to find the best one which suits me and meets the needs that I need, and also so it helps you guys be more knowledgeable about the foundation that you are using in the drugstore. So as you can tell from the title of this video, today I'm going to be trying out the Wet n Wild Photo Focus Foundation. I got this in the shade Soft Ivory, so I've heard some really good things about this, and I didn't realise how cheap it was. This was, I think, $5.99, so a super cheap foundation. So today I'm going to be doing a sort of how it lays on the skin, and then I'm going to do a wear test, and I'm going to check in with you guys throughout the day just to see how it lasts and to see if it is any good for the price. So I've got it up on the Boots website just to see what it states that it can do. So it says, your skin only better. Our high performance skin perfecting foundation underwent major road testing under 7 different photo lighting conditions to deliver flawless camera ready makeup every time. So I do work in front of a camera quite a bit, but I don't work in front of a camera all the time. So I kind of want to see if this works sort of day to day as well, or whether it is really good just for doing a photo shoot. So it says, high performing breakthrough formula featuring light adjusting complex to help prevent white cast in photo, which is perfect because you don't want like a flashback from the camera. And as it says, tested under 7 conditions with and without using flash. So I am quite excited to try this. I have heard really good things about it, to be honest, and since it's only $5.99, if this works, it'll be perfect. Any of you guys out there that want to try out a cheaper foundation, or maybe you're really on a budget and you need everything under £20, this would be amazing. So if you want to see how it wears and how it goes on my skin, then just keep on watching. So I'm going to start this off by doing my usual skin prep. I'm going to push my hair back from my face because I hate having foundation in my hair. So I've already done my skincare and done my moisturiser and everything. So now I'm going to go in with the Tarte Smooth and Base Primer. I'm going to use this, as I said in the last video, for every single one of my foundations, just to give it a good shot. So it's all laying on the same base. I'll be using the same products for everything so that it can't be influenced by anything else. So it's all down to the foundation as to how it actually lasts. Hopefully it lasts really well, but we will see. I've never seen Wet n Wild in the Boots in Tunbridge Wells, but when I was at the Trafford Centre, they had so much more in their Boots. So I just went round and literally just picked up, I think I picked up about 4 different foundations, because I just wanted the high coverage one because that's the only ones I really wear. I don't wear sort of medium coverage foundations. I'm a full coverage queen, and I always will be. Okay, so I have primed my face, so all my pores are now blurred. So now it's on to the foundation. So I did like swatch this, but the shade range wasn't amazing. Let me just find out. Or it definitely wasn't in the store. Okay, yeah, I think there's 2, 4. There's 6 shades in this again, so not amazing to find a shade match, but we will see how this turns out. Oh, it's got a weird spatula on it. Okay, I'm just going to put this on. I never just put it on my skin. I don't ever do this. But just going to... Everyone says it has a weird smell when I watch videos, and it just feels quite, I don't know how to put it, quite cheap, but we'll find out if it actually works. If it works, I'll be so amazed. Oh God. It just dripped. Okay. So I put it on my skin, and I'm just going to take my beauty blender and I'm just going to bounce it in to my face. It doesn't actually say what the coverage is. Just going to continuously blend this into the skin. So far the colour match looks really good. I think it's a medium coverage. I can't quite tell at the minute. I don't think it's quite full coverage. This was the one foundation that I was actually... Oh, this is very light. Oh, Jesus. This is the one foundation I was actually really nervous about trying, just because of the price. It just... I don't know. Didn't seem that the price sort of would match a high coverage, really good foundation, but we will see. Okay, so that is with one layer on, so I'll zoom you in. This is super light. I don't like how it's like not... Oh my god, this looks awful. Okay, I'm gonna have to go in with more, so I'm going to go in with some more of this foundation. I really don't like how this is looking at the minute. I don't like this spatula thing. And it's very thin. I was expecting like a thicker consistency. I don't know why. It doesn't say anything about that, but it is very liquidy, so when you sort of blend it out, you leave like imprints of the Beauty Blender in it, which I'm kind of hating at the minute. I don't like that sort of look. But we will see whether it layers up well as well, or whether it just sort of doesn't want to layer at all. So I tried out the L'Oreal Infallible foundation in my last drugstore tested makeup. And it felt really lightweight. This feels so heavy and quite thick, and kind of feels like it'd be really cakey. So I'm not too sure how I'm gonna like this. Just feels so heavy on the skin. It feels like I've got about 1,000,000 litres of it. Okay, so I'm going to zoom you in again so we can look at this. It isn't awful. I just feel like it is very like sticky, and it's not covering how I would like it to. Like this red patch is still showing, but I suppose it's things that I could cover up with concealer, but I do usually only put concealer under my eyes. It's also very like sticky, and it's just transferring straight onto my hand and leaving a handprint on the side of my face. So I don't think it layers up very well, and it just feels very heavy. So at the minute I'm not loving this. I'm trying to like blend it all out, and it's just kind of taking it all back off. Okay, so I'm going to go off camera and I'm going to do my eyebrows, and then I'll be back to to do the concealer bit and to do the rest of this video. At the moment, I'm not loving it. I don't like how it's feeling, but we will see how it goes and see whether putting on concealer and like setting it all in place will make it feel any better. So we'll see you in a minute. Okay, so I am back. My eyebrows are all on. I've slightly carved them out with some concealer, and now it's time to conceal my under eyes and probably the rest of my face, because this has not got the coverage that I need. So I'm going to grab my Tarte Shape Tape concealer, and I'm just going to cover my under eye and hope that it all sort of blends together. I'll go around here. I feel like this is going to be the sort of concealer that, or sort of foundation that I'm going to have to blend this out straight away. It's not blending out too badly. Blend that out my nose as well. I can already tell this isn't going to be a foundation that I'll actually wear again. But some of you guys like this. I can kind of understand why you would. If you do want that sort of perfect skin that still looks like your skin. Like a light coverage of foundation for like school or anything like that, but I like mine really high coverage. And I don't like it feeling really cakey, which is what this is doing right now. It's also too light. I went for the wrong shade. Okay, so that is all blended in. I'm now going to take my Rimmel Stay Matte. Is it Stay Matte? Match Perfection powder to set this all into place. Obviously, I can't be annoyed that it's not full coverage because it hasn't claimed to be full coverage at all. It didn't say anywhere that it was full coverage, so it's kind of my fault that I didn't read it properly when I picked it up, but I did want to try it out because I'd seen so many people like it. So just doing how I usually would, pressing loads of powder onto my face. Okay, so now that has sat on my skin for a bit, I'm now going to brush it all away. So I'm going to take my complexion powder, which is like proper broken now. And I'm just going to put that all over my skin, exactly how I usually would for any foundation. And as you might be able to tell, I am using a microphone, so the sound might sound different to usual. But do let me know if it sounds any better or worse, if you like it or not. I decided it was better to use a microphone now instead of just using my camera microphone, so that I got better sound quality and so you guys could actually hear me maybe a bit better. You didn't have like a constant drone in the background or my family talking in the background. Okay, so I'm going to do a quick close-up so you guys can see what's going on, see how everything is sitting on the skin. It does feel very, very heavy. That's all I can say at the minute. So the concealer went on really nicely. It hasn't clumped up anywhere. So it looks really nice. I'm not too sure about the coverage. It's still slightly red here. It just feels very, very heavy on the skin and I'm not too sure how everything else is going to lay on afterwards. So that is the next step. So I'm now going to go in with my MAC Give Me Sun bronzer and we're going to see how this lays on the skin, and it's also just going to warm it up a little bit because this foundation is a little bit too light. Only slightly, nothing drastic, and I'd rather that than be too orange, to be honest. This bronzer usually goes on like butter, but at the minute it's kind of sitting on the skin funny. Just looks a little bit patchy today. So I'm going to also bronze up my nose as I usually would. Okay, so doesn't look awful. I just feel like it hasn't settled on as well, and it's kind of clung to some parts of my face. I do feel like I've put too much on as well, but I look a bit orange. Oopsie. Anyway, we're going to try and fix that a little bit. I'm going to go in with my Shade and Light palette and go in with that lightest shade as I usually would. I'm then going to take the really light shades and we're just going to lighten up the skin again. Okay, so that hasn't gone on awfully. It just all feels very cakey on my face in order to get the coverage that I wanted. So I'm not too sure how it's going to last. Next, I'm going to go in with my blush. And I'm going to go in with the Abstract blush, which you all know I absolutely love. I'm just going to tap that on to my cheeks. And then I'm going to highlight using my James Charles palette. As you guys know, I absolutely love the Sister shade in this palette as a highlighter. So I'm just going to take that and we're going to highlight the high points of our face. Okay, so I'm going to say that the powders have gone on really nicely on top of that foundation, but the amount of foundation I had to put on to get the coverage and the amount of concealer I had to put on has made this whole thing feel very cakey and just very heavy on the face at the minute. I'm going to go off camera and I'm going to finish off everything else. I'm going to put on some lipstick and do some eyeshadow and just play around. And then I'll be back to do some check-ins with you guys in a little bit. But I'm just going to sort of play around. We're going to go out. I'm going to go pick up a new camera. I'm very excited. And we're just going to do a few things and go to the coast. So I will take you along and we'll see how this all turns out. Okay, so I am back. This is my first check-in of the day. It's currently 2 o'clock. I've had this foundation on for about 4 hours now. And yeah, I really like how it looks. It's not breaking up around my nose. It hasn't broken up around my chin. It's not super shiny either, which is really nice. But yeah, I don't like how it's feeling on the skin. It feels very like tight and heavy. Unlike my other foundation, the L'Oreal Infallible, which I will link down below, which was my last drugstore foundation review. Also, I am filming on a new camera. This is the Canon M50. I thought I'd get a new camera just so that the autofocus was a lot better, and hopefully the quality is, but let me know down below if you do like it. But yeah, it does actually look really nice. It hasn't gone super shiny. It's still just stayed on my skin. It just feels very heavy because of how much I had to put on to get the coverage that I wanted. But I will check in with you guys again in a bit, a couple of hours later, and we'll see how it goes. I've only had this on for 4 hours, so let's see if it can last 8. That'll be really good if it can do that. And I haven't got any setting spray on, so we will see. So I'll see you in a bit. Hi guys, so I am back. It is now the next day. After yesterday's video, I decided that I wanted to try out the foundation a bit more in like a general setting because I didn't like how it felt, but I didn't know whether it lasted really long because I wasn't really doing anything yesterday. So I've worn this foundation to work today. I did the exact same steps as I did yesterday. Nothing has changed. I haven't put on any different products, and I do not like this foundation one bit. I thought I did yesterday. When I first put it on, it felt so nice. It felt like it was sticking to my skin, but as I said, it was very cakey. Now it is cakey and has just gone like an oil slick everywhere. I'll give you a close-up in a minute. It has also broken up around my nose. As soon as I put my hands on my face, it's just coming up on my hands. It just is not settling into the skin like any of my other foundations do. So I repeat, do not like this foundation. Obviously that is on my skin. It might work for you guys. It might be the perfect foundation that you'd be looking for. But for me, for someone that likes full coverage, that is oily and dry, so we've got combination skin, and that also wants a foundation that does more and stays on a lot longer, this is not my foundation at all. Obviously this foundation does not claim to be long wear, but I would expect any foundation to be able to last at least a standard 8 hours. Just because that is what most people are going to be wearing it for. Like, people don't really wear foundation for like 2 to 4 hours unless they're doing a photo shoot, which I guess this is what that is aimed for. But you're selling it in a drugstore, people are going to pick it up. But it definitely did not last at all. So I'm going to zoom you in and we're going to have a look at the close-up together and see what it looks like. Okay, so I have got my new camera, so it's actually focusing really nicely. As you can see, it's settled in here. This has gone super patchy, as is here. It's really shiny. This is from me blowing my nose, so that is not the foundation's fault. That's going to come off anyway. But literally I slightly touch and it just feels horrible. Like I haven't had a foundation that has done this in so long. It just is not. Just collecting around here and just accentuating my under eyes, and I can't abide a foundation that does that. Obviously this will probably be a perfect foundation for someone, but in my personal opinion you can get, I know it's a lot more money, or not a lot more money, but for a bit more money you can get a lot better foundation that will last you a lot longer. Obviously I'm going to keep looking for that perfect sort of cheapest foundation I would suggest to everyone, but this isn't it, unfortunately. But if you do want to try it, go ahead and try it. It might work for you, you never know. It's always good to try out new things. But on this foundation I think I'll give it a 5 out of 10 because for the first 2 hours it looked really good. It just felt very heavy, and then it just started to go downhill. It just dropped and I've just felt like I wanted to take it off. I've never wanted to take off a foundation so much in my life. Other than the Primark one that I did in my trying out Primark makeup, that one I wanted to take off as well. So this one is kind of on the same par as that. So yeah, I want to try other Wet n Wild products, but the foundation just isn't for me. Okay guys, so that is the end of today's video where I test out the Wet n Wild Photo Focus foundation. As I've said, these are my personal opinions. Obviously this does not reflect on the whole of the Wet n Wild line. I have not tried out anything else that they have done. I've literally just tried out the foundation, and if you do want to go and try out the foundation, I'm not telling you shouldn't. It just hasn't personally worked for me. So if you do want to go and spend £6 on a foundation and just try it out, you might find it actually works and does exactly what you want it to do, but it just didn't work for what I needed it for. But as I said, that is personal opinion. So if you did enjoy today's video, don't forget to give it a big thumbs up, and don't forget to check out my other drugstore makeup reviews. I will link my Rimmel London one down below, and it will be linked at the end of the video as well. Don't forget to subscribe to this channel if you don't want to miss any more. We are slowly growing up our subscribers. We are now at 53 subscribers since I hit the 50 subscriber mark on Saturday. I am so happy, I can't believe it. So if you do want to join the growing subscriber count on this channel, then please hit that subscribe button. Follow me on Facebook and Instagram so you don't miss when I upload. And comment below any other foundations or drugstore makeup you want to see me review on this channel. And I will see you in my next video. Bye guys!